What's up, guys? It's Will here, back again. And we got another very exciting morning of announcements from Hot Toys. We got the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, and even some random Attack of the Clones and Artisan Obi-Wan, a new Darth Vader on a table. There's a lot to discuss. But before we get started, make sure to like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you don't miss anything when it goes live here. News, reviews, live streams, helpful guides, everything you want for Hot Toys collecting and even statue collecting can be found here. That said, let's get started and waste no more time. We're going to go through each individual figure, and I'm going to start just by going through something that was posted on Secret Base, because there is a new Darth Vader with a table for the deluxe version. It's going to cost you about $500 somewhere abouts if you're in the United States or somewhere else, or if you're buying from Sideshow in general. This thing is actually going to have a deluxe version and a standard version, the deluxe version coming with the table, the standard version coming without the table. It has not shown official product photos for an official announcement yet, but Secret Base did post photos showcasing this new burnt Darth Vader. Anakin's looking a little bit crispy here, and you got a new Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader outfit here, which we all knew was going to be coming at some point. I predicted, I said way back, you're probably going to get a Darth Vader that's burnt on a table, and here we are, you have a Darth Vader that's burnt on a table. This thing looks awesome. It's about $400, a little over $400 in Hong Kong dollars being sold in Asia at Secret Base. So I will say that in the Sideshow, again, like I said, normally there's a 25% import fee. So you're going to be paying over $500 if you want the table. If you decide to go without the table, you're going to be paying a hell of a lot less. That's going to be a huge downgrade there in terms of the price. 1,980 Hong Kong dollars. That is what, about $253? Somewhere about $305, somewhere around there. I think that would be what you're looking at. But again, not a lot of photos to work with here, so I will update you guys when I have more information. Make sure to follow me, Will.Foxification on Instagram. That's always where I post things first when I wake up in the mornings. But this looks great. This is a slimmer Vader, a more, I guess, tailored Vader than some of the other ones, not quite as bulky and as commanding, but this guy still looks amazing. I love the Hayden head sculpt with the burnt paint applications. This is going to be a really, really cool Darth Vader. And for some people, their definitive one, because Hayden is their Darth Vader. You know, I think that's going to be a lot of people's favorites. For me, it is. I mean, Hayden's the one I have for Kenobi Vader, and of course you have the Sebastian Shaw one as well, which I think is pretty great also. But it just depends whether you're more of a OG trilogy guy or a prequel trilogy guy, but what you grew up on, I think. Nonetheless, table looks great. You have some really cool light up effects. Going to be probably USB light up for the Vader himself and the lightsaber. So very, very cool stuff there. That said, let's go ahead and move on to our Obi-Wan Kenobi. We got an Artisan Obi-Wan Kenobi announcement, which I think is pretty interesting, because what's happening essentially is that it is an episode 2 Obi-Wan. This is an Attack of the Clones Artisan Obi-Wan. There is a sculpted counterpart, which you can purchase as well. And for this guy, it's not labeled Revenge of the Sith Anniversary because it's not a Revenge of the Sith Anniversary figure. But in a midst where you're announcing a bunch of anniversary figures, to announce an Attack of the Clones figure seems like a peculiar decision. So very interesting choice there. Nonetheless, it does look good. It's funny because it's not, but it almost looks like an Ahsoka Obi-Wan figure. Like he looks a little bit aged/de-aged here. And this is an Attack of the Clones outfit. But I do think the head sculpt does look pretty good. The rooted hair looks very good. Maybe they elected to do this one over episode 3 because of the longer hairstyling. But to me, it is certainly a peculiar decision. I mean, Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan is definitely a figure that people want, but I don't think it's as in demand as Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. And now I have my trepidation about there being an announcement for Revenge of the Sith at all. Because if they're going to announce this one and then announce another Artisan exclusive Obi-Wan so quickly, I would have my doubts that that is going to occur. You have 3,500 units worldwide for this Obi-Wan. I still think the head sculpt is pretty good for this guy, but I still don't think it's quite there. I think Hot Toys has notoriously struggled with Ewan McGregor. It's been a likeness that I think has been very difficult for them to capture. But I do want to note, you got the wool-rooted implanted hair, which I think is pretty cool. And of course, you got seamless forearms. Right down here at the bottom, you can see, I'll zoom in a bit. You have seamless forearms, which I do want to give Hot Toys credit for. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but it's necessary. Hot Toys needs to start giving seamless forearms for figures that require it, for figures that need more lifelike aspects on hiding visible wrist joints and things of such nature. So to me, I think this looks great. I think it's a good head sculpt, but it's still not quite there. I think this is an 8 out of 10 head sculpt. It's not quite fully Ewan McGregor, but it is a huge step in the right direction. It doesn't look like a reused head sculpt to me. Maybe some elements of another one, but it definitely looks like a new sculpt to me. Again, hair looks great. So I think people are going to go crazy for this guy. 3,500 units worldwide. again, I mean, look, we still got time for Revenge of the Sith and the more announcements there, but it just, I'm just not sure why they elected to do this one over the other, but maybe they'll still do the other and surprise me, but I have my doubts now. I definitely have my doubts. I think this might be the one, the Artisan version that you're getting for now. But no sign of a sculpted Anakin yet, unfortunately, or an Obi-Wan Episode 3, even though it is an anniversary nonetheless. It would be certainly a peculiar decision, but Hot Toys have surprised us with peculiar decisions before, so this would not be all that surprising. So let's move on to some of our exclusive figures here. These are actually already up on Sideshow. You have the Airborne Trooper 212th Attack Battalion. This is not a guy that I'm overly familiar with because, as I always say, I'm not the biggest trooper collector in the world. But I do got to say, I think this one actually looks kind of cool. I like the sort of dirty and grimy paint application with the orange and the white contrast there. I think this looks pretty cool. Again, this is an exclusive figure. It's already up on Sideshow if you're looking for it. So that's something that you definitely want to get on ASAP if you're interested in this figure. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up real quick and I can show you guys what the overall cost is. It was the 212th Attack Battalion figure. It's this one. So $255 on Sideshow. You can also get it other places as well. So if you're looking for it, definitely check it out there. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. They only got 3 photos up right now. So it's definitely, something that they're still working on. It's still, it just went up on the website this morning at like 5 a.m. So it's a very, very quick process. Sometimes it's delayed, but it does look cool. Cool paint application, $255 for the Trooper collectors. I think that's not bad, right? It's not bad at all. So nonetheless, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next one. We got some other exclusive Hot Toys to talk about here. To me, not quite as exciting as what we got from the Anakin and Obi-Wan figures, but nonetheless, we do have some. So we got a new Clone Commander Cody, which could be something for collectors who really were looking for this figure who missed out on the first one. Another exclusive version. This to me looks, I mean, yeah, it's Clone Commander Cody, right? It's pretty much the one that you got prior. I don't know if there's any real significant changes here. Maybe they fixed that shoulder joint that was a huge problem the first go round, but this might be a version for collectors who really missed out on the first, as I mentioned, who won an opportunity at the second, and Hot Toys didn't feel like they needed to do a straight on full reissue, a wide release, but instead just release maybe a couple thousand units of this guy and get some more collectors an opportunity to pick him up. So I think it's pretty cool. You do got the Palpatine hologram there, which is pretty cool. The paint application, again, looks very similar to me. Maybe some slight improvements here and there. A lot of weathering, a lot of texture on Cody here. But overall, I do think it looks pretty good. If you're a Trooper guy or you just really love Cody as a character, which I know he has a whole arc and all that, that's pretty cool. You got a light up hologram projector. That's pretty cool. So that's maybe the only differentiation between this and the previous version. I don't believe the previous version had that. And you have a Yoda hologram as well, which is pretty dope. I do think that's pretty cool overall. But yeah, I mean, as a Clone Commander Cody, it's another version. If you're interested in that, definitely take a look because that's going to be one that's going to be available as well. So exclusive figure and yeah, not a bad vibe if you're looking for that type of trooper. So Chopper C1 10P and BD1 Imperial Disguise. So this is definitely one that I think is probably going to be the least popular of the group. These are droids. I do think they look pretty cool. Droids can definitely be universe builders. These are the figures that you put in your display, and they do look pretty cool when you do have an assortment of figures, droids, and otherwise that can make your display look well-rounded and lived in, which I think is pretty cool. You got a lot of weathering on the sky, some gray and white paint applications, good contrast with the red there as well. You got a wheel there in the middle, so you could probably wheel him around if you wanted to. Some cool droids here. Again, these are not going to be the ones for me. These are not the droids that I'm looking for, but I will say for others who want these exclusive figures, you can definitely pick these guys up and add them to your display if you're, feeling a little bit crazy and want some diversity in your display, or you're just a droid collector. There's a lot of collectors out there who really love droids. I'm all about C-3PO and R3, and that's probably about it. Maybe a K2SO if I'm feeling a little bit wild that day, but that's really about it for me. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on these figures. I think we got some good announcements. I'm not entirely sure that this is everything. I do think there might be more to come from this line. And we got to get some more information about that Darth Vader. I mean, we got to see some more photos and, I'm assuming it's going to be USB light up and all that good stuff, but don't really have too much information just yet. So sit tight for that. But look, I'm still hoping for an episode 3 Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, but I'm starting to lose a little bit of hope here. That would be a very curious decision by Hot Toys if they elected to not make those two. I'm not sure what the thought process would be if that were the case, because I think those are your two heavy hitters for that line. So to avoid them would certainly be a peculiar decision. Yeah, anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you're notified here when content goes live. I think that's really important. There's a lot of cool stuff here, and Will.Foxification on Instagram. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the gym and go to work. It's super early, but thank you for joining me once again. I will catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye.